What's up?
You guys had to alter your travel plans for this weekend with the forecast? Are you planning on leaving early or waiting and seeing?
Yeah, we're gonna leave on Thursday night.
And you've talked a lot about being very regimented with schedule and players are creatures of habit. Does that do anything? Throw you guys off? Or
No, I think the guys have handled that information really well. And again, this team's done a great job, always adjusting when need be. This is an unusual week anyway, 6 day week. It's we've done it earlier this year for the Carolina game. Our guys have responded well to it, and this is just one more adjustment they'll have to make.
so we don't have a walkthrough. I guess.
Yeah, we'll keep our normal schedule. So all of our physical practice stuff will be here,
Okay.
and then so it doesn't really change our routine much. Just where our meetings will be for that final day.
Trey Hendrickson said we should ask you. So what's the latest on his race?
Yeah, we'll see how he gets through the week. I think with a lot of our guys, we're trending towards being optimistic, but we want to utilize these full speed practice days these next 2 days to see where they're really at.
You just need to see how much it's hurting him, how much he can do with it.
Yeah, I just want to get through these next couple days and see where we're at for the game.
With the secondary, you anticipating Mike and Cam to play?
We'll see. Again, I think once we get out there and we physically do it in practice these next 2 days, we'll have a much better feel of where a bunch of guys are at.
What happened with Cam's shoulder?
Just more stinger issues, but again, we'll see where he's at this week.
I asked Joe, I'm pretty sure you probably know, but you can clinch a playoff spot this Saturday if you win. I know it's not the long term goal,
Yeah.
but does that resonate with you at all? Or I'm pretty sure you're saying
No, not, it really doesn't. It's not even something we've talked about as a team. We're focused on winning the division, and there's a lot more that's going to have to go into it than just winning this week. This week is a step in doing that, and so we're fully focused on playing our best football because we know how much of a challenge this is going to be. But you got to take care of this one before you can focus on anything beyond that. So we're just focused on trying to beat New England.
why is you and Joe both said we're focused on winning the division. Why is that for you guys more important than potentially trying to get the number one overall seed?
Well, that's beyond that. The first step is always just getting the division, and then if you can do that, then it allows you to see a bigger picture that we're not there right now. We still got a lot of work to do, and the first step is just doing everything we can to put ourselves in a position to win the division.
Is it kind of surreal given kind of the struggles early when you got here that you guys could be clinching a playoff berth and it just kind of seems like another week?
No, a lot of hard work went into it, but this was always the big picture. And so again, that's why you do it, to build something that can sustain, and that's always why we've talked about doing it the right way and not taking shortcuts by building through the draft and being selective and smart in free agency and acquiring people at different positions of the cut downs and that fit what we want to do so that long term you feel like you've got a team that can have sustained success. We haven't had that yet. This is only really 2 years of moving in that direction, but we feel like we're building it the right way.
What has made you guys so good on the road this year and battle tested and handled big moments on the road?
That's a good question because you could say the same about our home right now. I feel like we're really playing good at home. So I think overall we're just playing really good football. Sometimes, I always get that feeling, man, I like playing on the road in front of, fans that hate you. And we've had pretty good turnouts there. There's something to that you enjoy. But I think more so I enjoy playing at home in front of our crowd because they've been really good lately. Um, I think the bottom line is we just like playing football. It doesn't matter where you do it. It can be anywhere in a park somewhere, but this team is just a team that just likes to go out there on Saturdays and Sundays and go play ball.
Are there different strengths of your team though that appeal to different situations? Like obviously at home you have different advantages, but maybe on the road there's something that appeals to the strength of your team.
I always talk about the leadership and these guys being able to just focus on the current week and the current game. I think that plays into it. They don't get distracted when you're on the road. They've got their routine they follow, and I'm always impressed by that. I think a lot of these guys have been here. We've all been together long enough now for all these road trips that the routine feels very familiar to where you just, whether you're home or on the road, it all feels the same and you know your routine by kickoff and you're ready to go.
Zach, Trey was telling me about just why he decided to stay in the game. That like Sam Hubbard, basically, you were like, well, I don't really have a lot of other options. So he basically was like, I just got to suck it up. Aside from his just like relentless mental makeup, from like a tactical skill point, if you were game planning against him, like what would you start with about why Trey Hendrickson is such a good edge rusher?
I don't want to give away how we would game plan Trey. That's difficult.
Like, what does he do like exceptionally well?
Well, he's relentless. He's very smart. He does a really good job studying his opponents. He's relentless, absolutely relentless. Um, he's strong. He's quick. And then you add in his football IQ on top of that, and it makes a really dangerous player. And so again, he maximizes all of his strengths to the fullest. And then I think he'd be the first to tell you the complementary pieces around him help him do his job. And when he finishes, he's able to help his teammates. Sometimes he might not get the sack production, but his teammates gets it. Sometimes he gets the hurries. He gets a lot of help over there with tight ends and running backs. I mean, every third down I watch him, I feel like he's having to defeat two blocks, and he's just relentless with his effort. So he's tremendous player.
How's Sam doing? Sam
Same,
Hubbard.
yeah, he's in great spirits. He's doing really well.
What does that mean for him potentially playing the next couple weeks?
We'll see. I think all these guys, we just got to see where we're at through the week and then make decisions as we get closer to game time.
What happened with his guy? Now that you have a little more information after Sunday, what happened with him? We saw on the injury report.
Yeah, his calf just tightened up. So, again, we'll have to see where it's at.
Nearly every team you've played has had a great edge rusher. This team has two. How difficult is it to, scheme up and block two guys with double digits?
Yeah, it's more than two. These guys, the interior guys do a great job working an edge. The backers, they're very smart with how they pressure you. They really do a great job with their matchups. And so, again, they've done a really good job getting teams off schedule, finishing teams on third down. It's a really well coached group and a really talented group, and they play really hard and smart, and it presents a lot of challenges.
Given what you guys needed in free agency, and when you went out to look for, what's Teddy Karras giving you? He had to, that's how you had to have drawn it up.
Yeah, it is. He gives added leadership, which we're always willing to take. He's all about ball. He loves to talk protections. He loves to talk run game. That's what gets him excited. You need that in the center. It's awesome to be around. Just his infectious energy at all times. On top of that, he's just an awesome human being. The money he's raising to help people right now. He's just all about people. He's all about helping people. He's unselfish. Um, that's why a guy's elected the captain right when he walks in the door, just because he has that effect on players and coaches and in a city, really, and people back in Indianapolis too. And I'm sure everyone in New England and Miami would say the same thing that's interacted with him. So, just a special human being, and we're lucky to have him.
He seems to have set he's made sure that the pocket is, in the middle of the pocket. That's
Right.
such a key thing for you guys. That the pocket is kind of, held firm.
He understands what's necessary to allow us to throw the football effectively, and that's cleaning up the interior of the pocket and making sure Burrow's comfortable back there and helping clean up, work from the guards and the tackles as well. And so Ted, again, his head's always on a swivel, and he's looking for work. If he doesn't have a immediate responsibility, he does a really good job of finding work.
You always say you want receivers who are tough and can catch. I'm curious, where'd you get the line from, and why is it so true?
The first person I heard that from was Phil McGagan. He was our assistant receiver coach and coached receivers in Miami. And he was the first person that made that comment to me, and it always stuck with me. He sat next to me in the staff meetings that we used to have at the Dolphins, and I think that was my first year in the league. I heard that from him, and it stuck with me, and it rings true all the time. It's just sometimes you don't see guys that have both traits. You see lots of guys with great hands, a lot of guys that are maybe just tough, and to get both of them, which we got a lot of guys that do both, is really impressive.
How impressed have you been with your receivers' toughness lately?
Awesome. I mean, TB. Start with TB. He fought for a third down there at the end of the game where he extended for it. He had a great block on Chase's screen that allowed Chase to get a first down as well on the face mask. So there were some times last week we were trying to keep him out of some of those blocks, and he was in there and had to do it, and he did it. And you got T, who was fighting a hamstring for a couple weeks, and he continues to fight through and do everything he can to get on the field. Chase played through whatever the hip deal was he was dealing with earlier, and he wanted to be on the field, and so we just got so many guys like that that are just continuing to fight through. At this point in the year, you got a lot of guys that deal with that. Those are just three that I named. I could name a lot more, but that's what's impressive about the physical and mental toughness of our team.
From an outsider's perspective, Zach, this team feels really hard to beat, really hard to put away. From all the teams you've been around, as a player, as a coach, is this team unique in that way, or unique traits that come with the team that's really hard to beat?
I think it's a special team. It really is, and it's a group that strives for consistency every single week. And I feel that as a coach that we get that in practice. You always feel good walking on the field for pregame that there's just really good energy and the guys are locked in. And I've really felt that the last, I've really felt that all season, to be quite honest with you. And, um, these last couple of weeks, I think our team's just really hitting their stride. We know that we can't take that for granted. That doesn't just automatically carry over every single week. You still got to repeat the work and find that edge that you got to have for each game. But our team has just they've had that focus and that urgency to get it done during the weekends.
Can that kind of energy, that kind of vibe, can that snowball and a team gets hot at the right time of the year, so to speak?
I think the confidence can carry over, but again, we don't take for granted that the performance is always going to carry over. We still have you got to reset every single week to start to put in the work and prepare for your next opponent. But I think there's certainly a confidence in this team and an edge to this team that continues to build each week.
Will y'all get extra meeting time on Saturday, or I guess on Friday then, because you're going to be in a day early? Like, what does that look like?
No, it's our schedule will remain the same. So aside from the travel, um, the schedule will remain the same, and so guys can stay in their routine.
You mentioned finding an edge. Each week finding that edge. How does the edge change from week to week?
I don't think I think our guys just walk on the field very confident that they're going to win their matchup, and the confidence comes from they've done the prep in the film room, they've put in the work in the field, and they know that they're talented. And so when you combine those things, it just leads to a really confident player, and then position group, and then unit, and then team. And I think that we've got the right leadership at every single position, and the young guys they feed off of that, and they understand. I've said in here many times, guys don't want to be the weak link on this team, and so they've felt the need to rise to the challenge, and I think that we've got a really good group that does that. But again, in the same token, we know that we've got a really tough road game, and this is going to be a difficult environment versus a really good team, and so again, everybody's going to have to be at their best on Saturday.
Having gone against Bill Belichick, back in your first season as head coach, going against him 3 years later, how tough is it? And what do you appreciate about just going against a coach like that, who's one of the greatest?
He does a great job. I think they've got a great coaching staff from top to bottom. They've got really smart players that play. They play smart. You just see that intelligence on the tape, and they're just really skilled as well. And so been up to New England many times, and I know that it's a difficult place to play, and so it'll be fun. We're looking forward to it.
When a team loses in last-second spectacular fashion like the Patriots did last week, do you expect a team coming in with a different type of edge the next week?
I think the really good teams in this league have the ability, again, to put games quickly behind them and refocus. And they're a team that I've got a lot of respect for, and so you know that they're going to be prepared for you when you walk in the building, and we're going to get their best shot. There's no doubt.
Because of how often you guys have come back in games and proved you can do it, is it just kind of a comfort thing, or does it allow you to be maybe a little more aggressive, take some more chances early in games than you would otherwise?
Every game is unique. Every plan that we go into it is different, and it's not necessarily always carryover. And so, again, there's always things that we're trying to achieve early in a game that may change from week to week. And obviously, we want control early in the game. We don't want to play from behind. We want to do things that allow us to control the game, so we can build on the lead. But again, it's an 18 game season, and you play great teams every week. And there's times when you find yourself in a bit of a hole. And our team has been in that situation enough over 2 years where we know there's no panic and that there's plenty of time on the clock, and that we can find a way to dig ourselves out of it. Thank you.